To start with, may I ask you a simple question? One simple question. So let me ask you, how do you people assess your health? If you have to assess about your health, how healthy you are, how you are going to measure it?
So, sir, we used to do the, you can say, routine health checkup, right,
Absolutely.
which gives us the reports that what is the condition of the body, not from
Absolutely.
outside, but also from its inside.
Right. So we do some checkups, right?
Right, sir.
In, in checkups, we can have our full body checkups, right?
Right, sir.
Right. Some blood tests, right?
Right, sir.
And if we talk about our body, so there are critical organs like we have heart, like we have kidneys, we have
Right, sir.
lungs, right? We
Right,
have
sir.
liver, right?
Right, sir.
All these things are the critical part of our body, right? And we need to care for our body, and we need to make sure that everything is fine, right? There are no issues, so that you may live long, right? And
Absolutely, sir.
once you have the checkup, like full body checkup, blood test, right? We use certain tools, right? We use
Absolutely, sir.
certain tools. Suppose we need to measure oxygen. We need to check what is the oxygen level. So we use oximeter. Got my point?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, we use glucometer to measure the blood sugar. Various equipments are there, various tools are there to measure the health. And once we go for full body checkup, we undergo certain blood tests, right?
Yes, sir.
We get a report, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the report has some tests conducted, and there are certain parameters, there are certain values, there are certain benchmarks. And on the basis of those benchmarks, you can get to know that what is the actual condition of my body,
Absolutely, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
And on the basis of this assessment, right, there are certain corrective actions, preventive actions, certain predictive actions you take. Like your doctor may recommend you that, brother, your HbA1c, which is the glucose consumption for 3 months, is on 5.8 plus, right? So this is an alarming situation, right? You need to
Yes,
take
sir.
care of your blood sugar as the alarming situation is there. So you need to increase proteins, you need to decrease the sugar intake, right?
Yes,
Similarly,
sir.
for cholesterol, for thyroid, there are certain corrective actions you need to take on the basis of your assessment, right? So a complete full body checkup or a complete assessment of your health gives you a clear picture about what is going on inside your body, right? And on the basis of that assessment, you can take the necessary actions to revive your body if there is something bad going on there, right? So far,
Yes,
so
sir.
good. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All
Absolutely.
right. So the same is with the data center. Now I am coming back to the data center because we have to cover the topic live optics, right? So live optics, earlier it was known as DPAC, Dell DPAC tool, right? This tool is similar to the full body checkup of your data center, right? Correct?
Yes.
Just like we assess our body using certain blood tests, certain measurement, like like that, we have a we have an assessment tool, assessment tool which is known as live optics. This live optics tool will assess the overall health of a data center, right? And it will give you the clear pictures about what is the state of CPU, what is going on with the memory, right? What is going on with the storage, right? What is going on with your network, right?
Yes, sir.
By using this tool, you can assess all these things. And on the basis of the report generated through the assessment, you can get all the details related to your VMs, related to your hardware, related to your disk capacity, related to your IOPS, related to your throughput, right? All these things are mentioned in the report, right? And on the basis of that report, you can recommend to your customer to make decisions, right? So if at all you found that the VMs are consuming 85% resources, right? Then there is an alarming situation that the customer will overrun someday, right? Very soon. The resources will, all the resources will be consumed very sooner. So you can suggest or recommend your customer to make the necessary decisions to add the hardware, to add the software, right? Whatever is beneficial for your data center, you can take the necessary action as an IT rep, right? As an IT stakeholder. So this is all about the live assessment. Is there any doubt here? Any question till now?
No, sir. Good for me.
All good?
Yep. Yep. Good from my side.
Gitanjali, is it clear?
Uh, I believe she is on a call with Albert sir and Pradeep
Okay.
sir.
Okay, no problem. No problem. So that's why I had turned on the recording so that
Yep.
the recorded session will be available for you to consume it later. So
Sure,
far,
sir.
so good.
Sure.
It is clear now,
Yep.
right?
Yes,
Now
sir.
I'm
Yes, sir.
telling you how you can access the portal, what are the prerequisites to access the portal, and how will you demonstrate the features and functionality of the portal, and how will you actually assess the environment of your customer, right? In order to get all these details. So see, once you go with the in customer conversation with this approach, this consultative approach, like you recommend certain decisions in on the basis of the assessment and on the basis of the dashboards, on the basis of the reports which you have handy with you. It is making a big difference at all, right? So the customer will assume that you are the trusted advisor and they can trust on you, they can bet on you, and they will certainly realize that you are not going to suggest them anything bad, anything not suitable for their environment. This is the approach you should follow. That is why I brought up the example of this health assessment, starting from our own body. So you can replicate this example while you are in a conversation with the customer, while you are talking to your partner. You should suggest them that they should also follow the same approach, right? That will
Right,
make
sir.
a big difference, correct? So guys, now it is show time. So as you can see in my screen, this is the URL for live optics. So https app.liveoptics.com is the URL, and you need to go through it. And if you are going through it for the very first time, then you need to click here to register. You need to provide your email, you need to generate a password, and the credentials will be generated. And after the credentials are generated, then you will be able to log in the portal. So if you are a Dell employee, then you can log in through your Dell credentials. And if you are not a Dell employee or you belong to some other company, then you may provide your own login credentials, right? Associated with your official mail ID. So like I am doing here. So I am logging with my email ID, and here it is. So this is the portal. This is the very fine dashboard, right? And in the dashboard, you get the details related to all the recent projects. Whatever projects are there means whatever live optics assessment I have done for my customer. So all these projects are displayed here, right? So like I have conducted several live optics assessment for my lab, which is in my laptop only. So these are certain live optics assessment which are there, which were conducted on various dates, correct? Now, if you are a system integrator, right, and if you want to conduct a live optics assessment in your customer's environment, so there are two options. First option is you can click on request capture, and here you need to provide the email address of your customer, and then you send them a request so that the customer will receive a URL. That URL will ask them to download a collector of live optics. And the second option is you are in front of the customer and you want to conduct the live optics assessment right now, and you need to then download the collector from here. So click on download collector and you get three options. First one is Windows, right? Second one is Linux, x64 and Linux x86 platform. And if you scroll it down, then you will get all the details related to the collector's compatibility. So what all operating systems and platforms are supported, those platforms are rightly mentioned here, right? In terms of the live optics assessment. So as it is mentioned here that the collector does not support Unix-based operating system or AIX-based operating systems. So it is clearly mentioned here. And the collector comes in 3 platforms basically. So first one is Windows. If you want to collect the data through a Windows machine, then you install the collector on the Windows machine. It is in exe format. And similarly, if you want to collect the data from a Linux machine, then these are 2 options available. So let me download this Windows collector, and I am going to have a live optics assessment for my home lab. So I clicked on download, and it is downloading the collector, right? So since it is downloading the collector, let me quickly give you a brief idea about my home lab. So this is my home lab. I have a Workstation Pro installed on my laptop, and within the Workstation Pro VM, I have one DC or a domain controller on which I have AD, DSCP, DNSN, and TP servers roles installed. And on the other hand, within the same Workstation Pro, I have one ESXi host by the name of ESXi01. And inside that ESXi, I have a CentOS VM and I have vCenter virtual appliance, which is again a virtual machine, right? And now let's see if the collector has been downloaded or not. So let me go back to the download folder. My computer downloads. This is the live optics folder which has been downloaded, and now you need to right click on this folder. Please remember that you need to extract this zip folder. So I am extracting it here only. It is very important that you need to extract this zip folder or unzip it, and then you will find this live optics installer, correct? And now I am going to conduct the live optics assessment for my lab setup. So let me show you my vCenter environment. This is my vCenter environment, and here I have a data center or virtual data center, which is known as RLab. And within RLab, I have one ESXi host, which is 192.168.1.201, and I have a CentOS VM and I have a vCenter. And similarly, if I show you, this is my VMware workstation, and here this is my DC01 Windows Server 2012, right? So this is my lab setup, and I am going to run the collector to collect all the information related to the workload, related to the virtual machines, related to the hardware, related to the network throughput, IOPS, bandwidth, whatever it is. I am going to run the collector for my lab. Now, coming back to my live optics dashboard, the collector has been downloaded, and now I'm going to run the live optics collector tool. So I have clicked on it. It is asking me whatever language I want to select. These are the options. So English, get started. And here I am concerned about the servers. So I am going with this option, Optical Prime. I have clicked on it. So there are 3 options here. First one is establish a secure HTTPS connection to the live optics web service recommended, which means that as soon as you click install with using the collector will be integrated with all of your virtual infra or the physical infra, and it will start fetching the information from the devices in your infra, and it will automatically upload those information to the Live Optics web portal. So there will be an online sync. So it is done through HTTP, SSL over TCP port 443. So the secure connection is there, and we are not going to collect any information inside your databases or the application. We are just collecting the information related to the resource consumption, or to be very frank, the overall health of your infrastructure. So you need not to worry about that. But if there are any concern that the data should not be shared outside the organization's boundary, then you have an option which is mentioned here. The second option is there, that do not connect to the Live Optics web service, right? Here, the Live Optics assessment tool will collect the data which will be collected locally, and the file name will be SIO kit. So this file, the customer can run in front of you within their environment and get all those details related to the health assessment, the capacity, performance, all these things can be displayed within the local IT infra of the customer. The files will not leave the boundary of the customer environment. This is the second option, or the customer can share this file over the email or whatever mechanism they find suitable to you or to VMware employees, so that on the basis of that report, on the basis of that collector report, the VMware employee or you only can tell the customer or recommend the customer that these are the key areas which a customer should focus on, right? So I will explain this when I will run through the report, which will be downloaded after the assessment. The third option is inventory mode. So suppose if your customer just want to have an Excel file to get the details of all the inventories, uh, not considering about what is going on inside those inventories or inside those uh, servers or the storages or the virtual machines. They just want to have an inventory that whatever appliances or whatever devices or whatever hardware is there in their data center. So this is a very quick option. So this is inventory mode, and all those reports will be pulled out through an Excel sheet, correct? These are three options. Now I'm going to opt the option one, and I'm clicking on next. And here you need to add a remote server. So like I said that I have one vCenter, I have one DC machine, domain controller machine, and I have one ESXi host. So I'm going to fetch all those details by clicking on add remote server. So while I clicked on add remote server, it will ask me connect to a Windows server or Hyper-V node. Second option is connect to VMware vCenter, which I'm going to opt. Third is connect to supported Unix server using SSH. You have three options here. So now I am going to connect to my vCenter server so that I will get all the inventories, because my vCenter is having all the visibility around my virtual infra. So let me type the vCenter IP address here. And I'm clicking on connect. I need to provide the details. This administrator. So please remember, you need to have the admin credentials in order to fetch the data, right? So I have provided the credentials. So this is my vCenter, and the, the platform is built upon ESXi 7.0.2. I have one ESXi local data store. These details are collected, right? And I am going to add one more server. So this server is again a Windows server, which is my DC machine. 192.168.1.200. Connect, provide the credentials, disconnecting to my Windows machine, which is a Windows server, running DC, running Active Directory, running DNS, DHCP, and all. So I'm going to fetch those details. So right now I have these many machines, maybe hardware machines or maybe virtual machines. So all these machines are there. Uh, I have added them in my collector, and now I am going to start capture. But before capturing, here is the duration. So you have all the flexibility to capture the details as per the needs. So suppose you want to just quickly have an analysis, so you can have the option of 10 minutes, but it is recommended that in order to get the correct information on the basis of which you perform analysis in terms of your data center, like what is going in your data center, what are the things which need optimization. So it is recommended that you should run this report for 24 hours. And like if I would tell you about an environment that some customers tell us that they are running certain reports on the month end, or they have certain databases queries which are generated over the month end, right? And in the month end, the resource utilization is on the peak. So we can have options of 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, and 7 days. So you can start your assessment on 25th or 26th of a month, and you can end up on 30th or 31st of that month. So all these options are there. So in my lab environment, I am going to have this collector to capture all those details for a 10-minute duration. So here I have selected 10 minutes and I clicked on start capture. So it will capture all those details, and parallelly it will synchronize all the data on the web portal itself. So let me go back to my dashboard, live optic dashboard. Here is the dashboard, and uh, uh, this dashboard, in this dashboard, you can see these are certain reports which I have collected previously for the same set, for the same set of VMs, or for the same set of data center machines, right? So let me quickly run through and run through a report which is already prepared, right? So this is the latest one, 24th June 2021, and this is 18th June, and this is 12th June. So let me click on 12th June report, and here you will get all the details about your infrastructure, right? So this is the first screen or the home page of the dashboard. So here you will get a snapshot about the CPU utilization, the capacity utilization, memory utilization, whatever the network throughput, whatever IOPS are there, what is the average daily write. All these information are kept here, right? To give you a quick snapshot about what is going on inside your infra, correct? And you can see here what are the total number of servers, what are the total, what are the top operating systems. So we have Windows, Linux, Unix, and the VMware platform here, right? We have the display of top 5 servers by IOPS. You can tweak between IOPS, memory, CPU, network throughput, latency. So all options are there, right? By default, it is IOPS, right? So this is the first dashboard. Now I'm clicking on performance. So in terms of performance, you can further drill down with respect to the servers, with respect to the virtual machines. You can see whatever the performances are there in terms of read-write IOPS, in terms of throughput, right? All these things are listed here. So IOPS, throughput, latency, whatever chart you want, those charts are properly provided here. Now, if I click on servers, it will give you the inventory details, like what are the servers in the infra, what is the IOP, what are the IOPS, what is the capacity they are consuming, what is free, what is used, right? What is the read-write latency, correct? What is the read-write ratio? What are the OSs, operating systems, which are installed on the machines? What is the CPU utilization? When we talk about peak CPU utilization, all these things are mentioned. What are the number of sockets? What is the clock speed? What is the memory consumption? And what is the peak memory usage? All these things are mentioned. This is all about the inventory, so make and model. So suppose you have certain vendors in your data centers who are the server manufacturer like HP, Dell, Lenovo, IBM, whatever it is, all those inventories will be displayed here. The manufacturer, model, service tag number, CPU, CPU socket, you will get all these details. And similarly for the hypervisor, so what hypervisors are running, maybe Windows Hyper-V is running, maybe vSphere is running, vCenter is running. All the information related to the hypervisor will be shown here. In terms of disk, what are the what disks are involved with respect to each and every machine, those disks with the capacity, utilization, free capacity, all these things are provided here, and including read-write ratio. In terms of installed applications, so whatever applications are installed, you will get a fine report in terms of the applications, right? What are those applications? Are those applications installed on virtual machines or on the physical machines? We will get all those details, correct? And similarly, if you want to just analyze about the virtual machines, how many virtual machines you have, what memory they are consuming, what CPU they are consuming, what are the operating systems, how many number of these CPUs are there, what is the capacity consumption, all these things are mentioned here. Like I have two virtual machines, one is CentOS VM The guest operating system is mentioned here. One is vCenter VM. The disk capacity is mentioned here. The utilization, disk utilization is mentioned here, right? All these things are mentioned here, right? In terms of virtual machines. And from this report, you can analyze what VMs are over provisioned, what VMs are under provisioned. You will get a quick snapshot about that. And here, one fine feature is cloud pricing. So suppose you want to run the same infrastructure in any public cloud. So you can uh, select a specific region, like suppose I am selecting it Mumbai region, selecting here Mumbai region, Asia Pacific Mumbai, and click on get latest pricing and click on download Excel. This report will show me that if I want to run the same workload on on a public cloud, right? What should be the cost? So here I'm opening this file. This is the file which is generated in terms of pricing related to the public cloud. So here the cloud pricing is mentioned. So this is my data center name, virtual machine, instance, UUID, unique ID, operating system, what storage it is consuming, and what AWS storage it will consume. The storage price per month, this is in dollar, $1.82 per month. Similarly, for the vCenter appliance, $45 per month. AWS on-demand price is there, 1 year price is there, right? So you can get fair understanding about your infra if it will run on a public cloud, what would be the charges. So you can get fair understanding that what option is suitable for you to run your existing infra, right? Let me quickly go back to my dashboard and see. So yeah, here it is. So here you can see that almost 30%, almost 93% uh, of the live optics report has been generated, and the collector will stop once it will collect all the data, and it will be 100% here, right? And just like I have pulled out this report, you will get the similar report here only. So this is a very good tool. And as I mentioned in the theory part, that if you go with this approach to your customer and you suggest uh, on the basis of you suggest the solutions on the basis of this particular report, which is actually capturing the current scenario or the current health of an IT environment, then your the customer will have a faith in you, and they will treat you as a trusted advisor, and you are going to propose a right solution for a right requirement, right? So you may be able to address the issues related to over provisioning, related to under provisioning. You will get all those reports with this uh, live optics assessment tool, right? So I think I have covered a lot, and I have given you a clear idea about this live optics collector and live optics assessment, and I have shown you the report as well. right? So one more thing I want to highlight here, that if you want to download this report in terms of PPT or PDF, so the option is very much there, and you can export it. This is the option to have a vSAN ready note sizing. So suppose a customer is looking for an HCI solution, you can directly fetch this report or export this report to vSAN ready note sizer directly, right? And on the basis of this report, a proper HCI solution or an appropriate HCI solution will be recommended to the customer, right? So that I will cover in some other video, but here I am talking about to create a project report so that you may present it in the form of a PPT, or you can create a PDF document. So you need to click on create project report, and you can select all these options here, right? All the server details here, everything is included. Include summary, summary, include summary for all servers, all disk clusters, and click on create report. So you can see here a PPT is being generated, right? So let me show you a PPT which I have downloaded. So this is my lab report in the form of PPT. I have conducted the live optics assessment, and I have downloaded the PPT for that assessment. So like I said, I have conducted an assessment on 12th of June, and here is the report. So whatever you have seen in the dashboard, all those things are listed here, and you will get the details of your inventory summary, whatever servers you have, whatever hypervisor, what are the operating system, like IOPS, memory, CPU, network throughput, latency, CPU performance, what are the peak performances, and what is the free memory, what is the used memory, right? All these things related to your infra are mentioned here. So storage capacity is there. What is free capacity? What is usable capacity? What, right? So on the basis of this report, you can analyze that how much capacity a customer is having, like, and how many times the customer will consume all the capacity, so that you can propose a storage solution or HCI solution. And similarly, you can assess the IO performance. So you can see here, these are the peak IOPS and these are the normal IOPS. On the basis of these IOPS performance metrics, you can propose better solution. If there is, or if there are any resource intensive applications running in the infra of a customer, then you may propose better storage solutions, maybe all flash solution or maybe hybrid solution. On the basis of this report, you can very much uh, predict, or you can very much propose a better solution for a customer, and it will show you whatever hardware is there, right? What are the ESXi versions are there? All these things are there in terms of memory, in terms of CPU, IOPS, throughput, right? Storage, data store, all these things you can analyze using this detailed report. Correct. And in the last slide, you have all the definitions. So what is CPU, what are IOPS, what is IO transfer size, what is latency, all the definitions are rightly mentioned here. So if a customer is asking about what is queue depth, you can tell them that this is the definition of the queue depth, right? So this is a very, very comprehensive report, and you can run through this tool with your customer and get their mind share and propose a better solution and uh, gain the trust of the customers, right? So that's all, friends. I think I have covered a lot, and let me know if you have any query. So thank you so much. Let me end my presentation. Thanks all.